everybody. You know, it's been quite a while since I've posted any videos on that big foam board plane I've been working on. I've got some time off work for the weekend, and it's just been cold outside. Like the high temperature today was 27, but the high yesterday was like 17. So I've pretty much been inside. I've gotten a bit more work done on my big plane, and I thought I'd show you because there's actually been some changes that have taken place, and I'll just go ahead and show you what I've got so far on the plane. And as far as the changes, I mean, I'm sure you'll see them right away, and I'll point them out for you know. I know there's quite a few people that have recently subscribed to me on YouTube. So some of the changes that I had on the plane, I'll point those out, and I'll try to give a brief explanation as far as why I made the changes. If you just want to start the camera here at the nose, and just kind of start working your way back a little bit. Here at the front, something I did. I mean, you'll see that the nose of my fuselage has changed. I had the stair-stepped rectangular tubes, and the plane was going to be a pusher plane. Very similar to Experimental Airlines Axon plane, which is actually how this whole thing started. But I don't know. It was probably about a month or so ago. I forget who it was. I think it was actually two people. So somebody pointed out that I was going to have issues when it comes to the CG, so the center of gravity, and as far as wing placement. I mean, I had my wings where they were going to mount was somewhere right here, but then the monstrous tail section back there. The tail section added so much weight to the back end. And I don't remember who they were, but I believe there were two people that said, you're probably going to have issues when it comes to the center of gravity. And when the comments when those comments were made by those people, I heard it, but it's very possible that I wasn't actually listening until I gotten to until I actually sat down with it about a week or so ago, and the entire issue of center of gravity really hit me. And so basically what I've decided to do, I've just decided to make the plane longer, and I'm going to make it longer and not quite as tall. Actually, basically what I'm doing is I'm going back to what Ed said, with Experimental Airlines. Quite a few months ago, I was working on my Photon motor glider, and I was having tail-heavy CG issues. And one of the suggestions that he made was just to extend the fuselage at the nose, and it worked out just like that. I mean, I put 15 inches on the front of that nose, and it flew just fine until I flew it in some bushes, but that was my fault. Basically, I'm going back to that same thing. I've extended the fuselage by 30 inches because I added another 30-inch section of fuselage. I've got the bottom part of the previous fuselage there at the nose. I still have that up here at the front, and if you see right here, I'm going to go ahead and keep this part because the intent of this, with the way I had the plane set up before, was I've got this little access panel where I'll have a slide out battery tray, electronics, all that will fit right there, and then that just closes up. So I'm keeping the front nose section, and this part here, the wing will sit on top of this, and I was just kind of sitting here, and the way the plane sits right now, from the nose to the back end of the elevator, it measures out just over 9.5 feet. So I mean, because of the added 30-inch section, my CG will actually end up right about here where I've got this wing centered right now. And actually the way it sits right now, the only thing that I don't like is the fact that the motor and the propeller is back on the front. So it's going to be a tractor style plane, a puller, instead of the pusher. I really wanted the pusher to begin with, but on this plane it's just not going to happen. It comes down to it to where I'm getting a pusher plane. Well, if you see the camera, point the camera over there in the corner. I do have a flying wing. I'll put the pusher prop on that, and I'll play around with that. So anyway, back to this plane. Actually, I think that's basically all the changes I've made. I mean, obviously, because the plane is going to be the tractor style. I had to make a new motor mount. So actually, what I did, I mean, you can see that I've got this piece of aluminum bent like this. Actually, what I've got on the underside, on the inside of the nose here, there's a thin piece of, it's a 1/8 inch plywood that I've got Gorilla glued in there, and I've got a couple of bolts and nuts here keeping them in place. And I actually put quite a bit of Gorilla glue between the foam board and that piece of plywood, and it didn't take very long to dry and be all good there. But what I've got is I don't know if you can, just because I mean my living room is only so big, but you see here I've got this piece of metal, this piece of aluminum. It actually goes inside the nose cone. Here inside the nose of the fuselage, okay, and it actually comes underneath to right about here. It's about 12 inches back from the nose. So it starts here, comes forward, it bends up, and then bends over this way, and then bends back this way. Then I drilled 5 holes here to mount this down, and I put two bolts here in the front just to help keep that in place. And man, I tell you what, that is rock solid. There are a couple other issues with this right here that I don't like. But that was just because I kind of screwed up a little bit, but I think it's going to be fine. I hope it's going to be fine. Yep, the plane is 30 inches longer from the front to the back. Like I said, it measures out just over 9.5 feet. So that's change number one. The motor mounts a change. The wing placement. I pretty much know. I mean, as it sits right now. I mean, okay, there's going to be a little bit more weight added to this. I don't know what it weighs right now, but we're talking. There's going to be the propeller added on the front. There'll be a couple of servos put here in the back for the rudder and the elevator. And what I'm planning on doing. I've got a little access hatch right here. I'd really like to have my servos mounted down in here and have push rods run back to control all that. So yeah, I'm hoping to do that. And as far as attaching the wing to the plane, I still haven't figured that out. Something I'm kind of thinking is something similar to what Ed did with Experimental Airlines. The way he mounted his wing to his Photon, he's got a hole up in here on the top of the fuselage and a hole down here on the bottom. He's got a piece of carbon fiber running through there with rubber bands that come up and over. I was kind of thinking about doing the same thing. I was going to put some more of that thin plywood on the inside of this tube here. Cut some holes, maybe put, from there on I don't know, but I was kind of thinking about using Velcro straps, they'd be like semi-permanent on the back so that they would stay with the plane when I'm not flying it, and then when I am flying it, it would just be a simple matter of pulling the strap out, coming up over the wing, maybe down and under, I don't know, maybe like a 1/2 inch oak dowel rod or I don't know, maybe a bar of some kind that goes through there. So the strap would come up over and go into the hole, around the rod, come back over, and then lay down flat on top of itself. That part I don't know. If you know, somebody comes across this video, Tony with rchelp.com, I know you're gonna watch this. If you can think of a way to get my 20-foot wing mounted to this plane, I'm certainly all ears. Yeah, I mean, and, you know, like I said, I mean, what I'm hoping to do here on the inside, I'm really hoping to have all of my electronics in there, including my receiver, because here on the underside of my wing, I've got my servo lead for my flaps and my servo lead for my ailerons. I figured, you know, those would, you know, just poke a hole, you know, wherever the wing would go, maybe a slot or whatever, and then the servo leads would just drop in there where they're supposed to be. So I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at. Honey, if I could just get you to stand up over here and just shoot the plane from the front to the back. I mean, you can see, I mean, it's a pretty big plane. I'm really hoping it works. Something else I do plan on doing is going to add a little bit of weight. I plan on adding some kind of landing gear with some wheels. I actually saw some really nice lightweight plastic lawnmower wheels. I think they're about 5 or 6 inches in diameter over there at Lowe's. I think they were like $5 a piece. You know, I'll figure something out with that. So there we go. There's a bit of an update on my plane. I'm still working on it. I've still got it stuck in my head, and it's burr cold outside right now. So the only thing it means is that somewhere along the line the warmer weather's got to come around, and we'll try to get this bad boy out in the sky. So appreciate you watching.